Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. 28 years ago, one of the greatest matches ever and one of the greatest matches in WrestleMania history happened. At WrestleMania 13, 28 years ago, Stone Cold Steve Austin faced Bret Hart in one of the best matches of all time, maybe potentially the best match of all time at WrestleMania. We'll actually see where it gets ranked because WWE is doing the 50 greatest matches of all time in WrestleMania. I think my favorite WrestleMania match, and maybe a lot of people's favorite WrestleMania match, which maybe goes head to head with this as the greatest WrestleMania match of all time, is that very first Undertaker Shawn Michaels match. I want to say like WrestleMania 23, potentially. You're going to have to fact check me on that, but you know which one I'm talking about. The amazing entrance in the all-white outfit from Shawn Michaels, that versus The Undertaker during the streak. That was amazing. Obviously, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13, 28 years ago, was amazing. So I wanted to kick this off, which is recognizing that match 28 years later, still one of the greatest matches we've ever seen of all time in WrestleMania history as well. And you have Stone Cold Steve Austin, just the guy that everyone loves and talks about, one of the most over and popular wrestlers of all time. And you have Bret Hart, one of the best wrestlers and technical wrestlers of all time, going head to head in a very aggressive, passionate, intense matchup 28 years ago. And if you're a young wrestler, still a lot to learn. If you're a lot to learn from that match. If you're a brand new wrestling fan and you only know today's day and age, I would urge you to go back and watch that match, WrestleMania 13, and just get immersed and invested in the greatness of Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret Hart. But now we move to today's day and age, and we have this triple threat that's been officially announced for WrestleMania of Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. And there may be a potential plot twist in this match because we know Paul Heyman is a central figure in this match, with the favor he owes CM Punk being the wise man of Roman Reigns, his history with CM Punk. The odd man out here is kind of like Seth Rollins. So a potential option, which I heard and was reading about online, could potentially be that Paul Heyman turns on both CM Punk and Roman Reigns, costs them the match, helps Seth Rollins win. Now Seth Rollins wins, and now Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman are linked. That's a potential plot twist, one we probably haven't thought about because most of the issue with Paul Heyman surrounds CM Punk and Roman Reigns. What if he turns on both of those guys and sides with and teams with Seth Rollins? Now you have the Seth Rollins Paul Heyman pair, because he's the only guy he hasn't worked with. He's worked with CM Punk. He's currently with Roman Reigns. And now maybe he wants to go to Seth Rollins to get away from potentially the drama. Seth Rollins wins, and then we move on to some other stuff potentially there. I don't know if I love that. I don't really see the benefit of it. I don't see how it helps Seth Rollins outside of just Paul Heyman is absolutely fucking incredible, and he's the best ever at what he does. I still think it should involve the favor somehow, and the tension should be, yes, between Roman Reigns and CM Punk, because we all know the tension is never going away between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, but they can figure that out. I think the tension lies there, and then also the tension lies with Seth Rollins and CM Punk, and so you have these trifectas, and so potentially that's where the favor plays a part. But that could be a potential plot twist as well. And I think another potential plot twist involving our boy Randy Orton. Now, we're not thinking a lot about Randy Orton right now. He's involved in this feud, in this rivalry with Kevin Owens. They're going to square off at WrestleMania. But Kevin Nash said that what if Randy Orton is the third guy in the John Cena, in The Rock sort of trio, corporate type TKO thing they got going on? I think Randy Orton would be a great member of that third group. So now you have John Cena, Randy Orton, and The Rock running around, destroying people and running the show. So that's a potential option there too. But I think what would be really cool with Randy Orton, which my boy Keegan stated would be a cool thing that could potentially happen, is that Randy Orton somehow wins 2 more WWE championships. Maybe they hot potato it with Cody Rhodes. Maybe they wins it once, wins it back, loses it, bop, 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 bop. And then eventually down the line, Randy Orton becomes then the 16-time world champion after patty caking it, hot potatoing it, whatever you want to call it, with Cody Rhodes, because they should have a feud they haven't touched. And that's some long storied history right there. Potentially, if Randy Orton, is in that group with The Rock and Randy Orton, that could be a really, really intense feud as heel Randy Orton and babyface Cody Rhodes. But then all that happens. Then you get to 16-time world champion Randy Orton. Then you get a 16-time champion John Cena, because John Cena loses at WrestleMania. That leads to the feud with Cody Rhodes. So now you have, at the very end of the year, the very end of the farewell tour, you have the 16-time world champion and the 16-time world champion John Cena, and somehow you work that out where maybe the title becomes vacant somehow after Randy Orton wins the 16th world title. You have John Cena's the 16th world title. It got, patty caked, and then there's too many of this going on. There's too many interactions, and then this thing, I don't know, whatever. WWE just makes some shit up, basically. This is my boy Keegan's idea, which I think is a really good idea. You just got to flush out some minor details to make it make sense, to make it make logical to the fans, but somehow you work it out at the end of the year. Somewhere towards the end of John Cena's farewell tour, you have the 16-time world champion Randy Orton versus the 16-time champion John Cena for the vacant WWE Undisputed Championship, and the winner gets number 17. And I think maybe then that's where finally you have John Cena win, because his career will be over. Randy Orton continues wrestling for a little bit longer. Maybe he does win the 17th. Maybe he doesn't. Then you have John Cena and then like Ric Flair and Randy Orton tied for the second number of championship reigns. But I think it would be really cool if they could work out somehow logistically, logically, and realistically where Randy Orton gets a couple more championship wins, and then somehow the title is vacant, and then somehow it's John Cena versus Randy Orton for the vacant WWE Undisputed Championship, and winner gets number 17. Now think about that. How cool would that be? So again, shout out to my boy Keegan for that incredible idea. Now if they can work out the minor, specific, logical, and realistic details to that, that would be one of the coolest things we could probably ever see, like a vacant WWE World Championship, WWE Undisputed Championship match for your 17th world title to break the record. Some of the best ever do it. 2 of my Mount Rushmores. In my Mount Rushmore is John Cena, is Randy Orton, is Shawn Michaels, and is Macho Man Randy Savage. So to see those 2 guys wrestle for their 17th world title, boy, would that be awesome. And then speaking of that, we have tonight on March 24th, 2025, still on their European tour, we have Monday Night Raw. The big match from Monday Night Raw just announced is that Braun Breaker will wrestle Penta for the Intercontinental Championship. I don't think this match is going to go to a finish. I do think they're either going to have a big one-on-one match at WrestleMania, or there's going to be a big-time ladder match at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship. But there's a potential that since they're pushing Penta so damn hard that he beats Braun Breaker tonight on the March 24th edition of Monday Night Raw, and maybe that moves Braun Breaker out of the Intercontinental Championship picture, and then he moves on to something else, and then eventually moves on to the main event scene where he belongs, as he's been working with Paul Heyman. He's a star. He's a stud. He's one of the next breakout stars in WWE, one of the next main event players in WWE. So that could potentially happen. I'm leaning towards sort of a no contest and then building towards an Intercontinental ladder match at WrestleMania, or shock and awe. WWE loves Penta right now. They have him beat Braun Breaker, then Braun Breaker potentially moves on, or that starts the feud where Braun Breaker gets pissed, and now they go into a one-on-one feud to WrestleMania, or Braun Breaker moves on to something else so he can eventually enter the main event scene at some point. And then, of course, we're going to see a lot of stuff happen on Raw. Cody Rhodes, John Cena are there again, I believe. We have this European crowds, which all crowds should be like. They just absolutely love what's ever happening. They enjoy the show. They make it better. And I think all fans can take note of that. So I'm excited for Raw tonight. I'm excited about heading down the road to WrestleMania and what's going to unfold and how it's going to shape some of these matches, some of these feuds, some of these rivalries, and some of these storylines heading into it. So yeah, that's all I have for you today. Make sure you comment below your thoughts, your opinions, what you're looking forward to, what you think might happen. All that stuff is good. I want to hear all the rumors, predictions, stories, everything you got in the comments below. Like that video, subscribe to this channel, share with every single professional wrestling fan you know on the planet. Let's build this community together. And I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.